Recording in progress. Something is happening.
No, let's proceed. I'm trying to share the book in the chat so that members can have the book. You can download it, or you can have it from your device, because I'm getting a problem from this
in the
side
chat.
as well.
In the chat. Okay.
If I share it in the chat, probably you can have it so that you can download it, and probably we can read it from or from your device directly without even sharing it.
Is it coming?
So just yeah, it's coming in 1 minute or two. Yeah, it's there. The book is in the chat now. So kindly open it. Even if I go, you can be reading the book. We are in page. Let me check the exact page.
There's no page numbers.
We are in page 64. I'm saying we have the book, and the book we are reading, we are in page 64. Or just go straight to Confederacies. You will get what you are reading. So let us get the book first. If you can be able to get the book.
We've got the book. Just trying to find the page.
I have the page.
Governance, statelessness, political organization, kingdoms.
Before Tachizomo.
Confederation.
Confederacies.
Yes,
Confederacies. Okay. Everybody got it?
So let's.
Political.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, let's read it. If everybody got it, now let's read it from our device.
Politically, a large polity can be organized. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me reading, everybody? Confederacies. Politically, a large polity can be organized along three main lines: a unitary system of government in which decision-making is centralized in the capital city. This is the European model, where decisions are taken in London, Paris, Brussels, Madrid, and so forth. A federal system of government in which the constituent state retains some powers, but the center is more powerful, as in American and Canadian models. A confederate system of government in which the center is weak and the constituent state can break away if they choose to. This was the characteristic feature of ancient empires and Switzerland today, a confederation of 26 cantons. Historically, the unitary system probably emerged as the most suitable for Europeans because their nations consisted of citizens of single or homogeneous ethnic stock. However, centralization of power and the decision-making process enhances the threat of despotism and is thus unsuitable for nations of multiple ethnicity. Wherever power is centralized in the developing world, it leads to competition among various groups, political, religious, ethnic, and professional to capturing. This competition invariably degenerates into ethnic strife and conflict. Even in Europe, the unitary form of government is beginning to rupture, with the Scots, the Walloons in Belgium, and the Basques in Spain seeking independence. Early settlers in America rejected the European model and because they saw the concentration of power as a source of tyranny and the state as a necessary tyrannus. They sought to write a constitution that protected the people from the state. Not finding such a constitution in Europe, the Americans looked elsewhere. Immigrants arrived in colonial America seeking freedom and found it in the Confederacies of the Iroquois and other native nations. As Frank Douglas Haith had affirmed, the United States was originally organized under a set of Articles of Confederation that included many of the principles that work so well in the Emirates and Switzerland. Where these principles survived, people prosper. In ancient and medieval times, the Confederation, gosh, I've lost it. Am I here? Anyway, I'll start anyway. Even in Europe, the unitary form of government is beginning to rupture with the Scots, the Wallons, and the Belgian, and the Bisque of Spain seeking independence. Early settlers in America rejected the European model because they saw the concentration of power as a source of tyranny. God, I've gone so much back. And I was trying to enlarge it and then I lost where I was. Anyway, I'll continue. They sought to write a constitution that protected the people from the state. Not finding such a constitution in Europe, the Americans looked elsewhere. Immigrants arrived in colonial America seeking freedom and found it in the confederacies of the Iroquois and other native nations. As Frank Douglas Heath has affirmed, the United States are originally organized under a set of Articles of Confederation that included many of the principles that work so well in the Emirates and the Switzerland, where the principles survive and prosper. I'm sorry. In ancient and medieval times, the Confederation was the most common from the political organization among different ethnic groups or nationalities. A confederation is formed when two or more nations or ethnic groups voluntarily come together and form a loose political organization to achieve a common goal. Most often, mutual defense or blocking a rival group from gaining access to a particular trade route or the sea. The number of assenting nations can vary widely, from 6 in the Ga Kingdom in Ghana to 54 in the Mayan Empire of Mesoamerica. The Confederation may choose a capital, often propelled by the dominant tribe, and establish a council to which each of the nations may send a deputy to deliberate on policies to achieve the common goal. Beyond that, the nations are left to govern and attend to own their affairs as they did before the Confederation. Obviously, this kind of political arrangement affords the constituent nations the greatest degree of autonomy and independence. As such, a confederation is characterized by decentralization of power and delegation of authority. If any nation or group is dissatisfied, it can pull out the confederation at any time, and many did throughout history. Is that right? Throughout history, explaining the tendency of confederacies to splinter. But the very but the very looseness of that political arrangement enables it to meet the test of time. Confederacies have been the most durable of all the large polities. The series of dynasties and kingdoms of ancient Egypt lasted for nearly 3,000 years. The Ghana Empire and Confederation lasted for more than 800 years. Polities crafted by imperialism have seldom fared as well. Violation is the key distinguishing characteristic of a confederation, since the constituent nations come together voluntarily. This distinguishes it from an empire, which is acquisition of foreign possessions, land, natural resources, and even labor, through the use of force, military, or deceptive and biased treaties. Imperialism involves conquest and subjugation. Unfortunately, many ancient confederacies have historically been misclassified as empires. Confederacies of the Americas, such as the Inca Empire and the Mayan Empire and the Aztec Empire, are examples of these misclassifications. The Iroquois, Mixtec, and Zapotec confederacies have been properly classified. Pre-Columbian Latin America was the home of some very notable confederacies that had advanced civilizations and well-organized social structures, and which flourished in the arts, mathematics, astronomy, architecture, and engineering. What brought about the end of these empires was not so much the weaponry of the Spanish but the diseases they brought with them. According to Professor of Native American Studies, Bruce Johnson, throughout Eastern North America, native nations had formed confederacies by the time they encountered European immigrants. The Seminoles in what is now Florida, the Cherokees and Choctaws in the Carolinas, and the Iroquois and their allies, the Windhoms, Hurons, is upstate New York and the St. Louis Valley. African confederacies include Ghana Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire, the Great Zimbabwe. This tradition was African societies from nations. Although it is not limited to Africa, examples successful confederations, is that right? Confederations include the United Arab Emirates and the Confederation cantons of Switzerland. In the Middle East, Persia, notable mention may be made of the Umayyad and Abbasid caliphates and the Safavid, Seljuk, and the Ottoman empires, and the Sasanian Parthian Confederacy of Iran. In Asia, the Maratha Confederacy of India was formed in the 19th century, and the Balkistan Confederacy stretched through Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Of course, the Mongol and the Chinese Empire may also be mentioned. Somebody can take over because I'm messing up the names. Anybody? Hello? Oh my God.
The Swiss Confederacy. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Switzerland is
Okay.
a confederation
The,
of...
The Swiss. Yeah.
No?
So
Shall I continue? I'm messing up the words. Okay. The Swiss Confederacy.
can you
Switzerland,
hear me?
no. Can I continue?
Yes,
Shall I?
please.
Okay. The Swiss Confederacy, Switzerland
Hello?
is a
Chisomo can come in.
Switzerland is a confederation of 26 cantons that are built on its political heritage. The history of its system of cooperating cantons with extremely limited central authority arose during the 14th century. The Swiss of that era recognized the need for competing cantons to cooperate, specifically in matters of defense. In the Swiss canton system, one person, one vote is replaced by one person, many votes. For example, the vote for candidates running the parliamentary elections, the voter is given several ballots, with each corresponding to a different political party. The voter may vote for candidates selected by the party, substitute his own list, or make changes to the party's proposed list. For elections for the Federal Assembly, the voter is given a ballot with as many lines as there are positions to fill. The voter simply votes for the candidate he wishes to fill the post. Further, citizens can act directly on specific policy issues, for example, by repealing a law through constitutional or legislative referendums. Every Swiss person can express his political authority in multiple contexts: the local community, the canton, and the nations as a whole. A wide diversity of political approaches is afforded by the dozens of cantons and half cantons. Even though the different cantons of Switzerland have different languages, religions, traditions, and cultures, their system works. According to one commentator, essential to making it work is the freedom of movement. The Swiss can vote with their feet and quit communities and cantons with ineffective policies and move to ones that are organized in a way that is more to their liking. In short, the Swiss have severely limited the powers of their government. That's it. Anybody there? Hey. Have I lost everybody? Today is a problem.
Continue, Martha. Can hear you.
Then I finished reading on the other one. It's now empires. Empires is the next one. I'm not sure I should be going over that one.
Yeah, I don't
Hello,
know
can
what.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So window, let's just finish with the empires, then we can start the discussion.
You want the empires?
Yeah, let's Sawindok, if he's able to read the empires, we finish all of them, then just discuss the two of them. They're the only two remaining.
Okay.
Empires. As noted above, an empire is the product of imperialism, the act of acquiring foreign possessions like land, resources, and people for slave labor or human sacrifice. It entails the subjugation of one or more groups of people who are culturally and ethnically distinct from the ruling ethnic group and its culture. Often, coercion and military force are employed. It is different from a federation or a confederation in which autonomous states and peoples voluntarily associate. There were more than 175 empires in ancient and medieval times. But as we noted earlier, many of them were confederacies mischaracterized as empires. In general, however, there have been differences in imperial rule in regard to the degree of independence or autonomy allowed subjugated people, as well as in their flexibility and liberty to preserve their cultures. At one end of the spectrum are those empires that ruled the vassal states indirectly through their own local rulers, allowing the states extensive autonomy. At the other end are those empires where conscious efforts were made to supplant existing cultures and to force subjugated people to assimilate to a superior culture. It is generally acknowledged that the first variety, indirect rule, was less harsh. As long as the vassal states were willing to obey orders and pay tributes or taxes, they were pretty much left alone to go about their businesses. This indeed was the case with the ancient Persian Empire, which allowed the locals to keep their own customs and religion. The empire was formed into provinces called satrapies, each of which was governed by a satrap on behalf of the king. A primary function of the satrap was to gather tribute. Its presentation to the king is depicted on many of the stone reliefs at Persepolis. Other reliefs show the people supporting the king's throne, symbolizing the extent of his power, but also the cosmopolitan nature of the empire. There was much tolerance of other people's cultures and religion. Indeed, Cyprus, the great 6th century BC, was the first Achaemenian empire of Persia, who issued a decree of his aims and policy, later hailed as his character of the rights of nations. Inscribed on a clay cylinder, this is known to be the first declaration of human rights and is now kept at the British Museum. How did it come to Britain? A replica of this is also at the United Nations in New York. Cyrus is also credited with promulgating multiculturalism, a word coined to express the coexistence and peaceful cohabitation of peoples from different backgrounds and cultures in one land, a doctrine which is the foundation of advanced societies, especially in Australia and the USA, and which was Cyrus's claim to fame. Imperial rule of the direct assimilation type, however, had the potential to be repressive and cruel, and indeed often was. However, even in ancient and medieval times, there were limits to imperial rule. It was namely reach, means, and geography. By reach is meant how far military might could be projected to keep a subjugated people under control. The further flung the empire, the more tenuous this reach. rebellious groups could make a break for it. Means of transportation and communication were poor or primitive in ancient times. By the time news of a rebellion reached the capital and warriors sent to crush it was some time. Language could also be a barrier when commands were issued that were not understood. By means is meant the method of the imperial nation presumably was able to conquer and subjugate a group of people on account of its possession of superior weapons, efficient in their ability to kill. However, such superiority could be transitory, as the subjugated people could also, through trade with others, acquire similar or even more superior weapons. And even if a subjugated people could not secure weapons, they could simply pack up and vote with their feet. There was nothing the imperial nation could do to stop them, as it had no means of controlling population movements. There were no clearly defined borders, no passport control, or visa requirement. By geography is meant the vast expanse of land that a subjugated group could escape to and settle on. The presence of large bodies of water or even rivers provided subjugated groups the opportunity to sail to freedom. Improvements in transportation and communication and technological advances, especially in weaponry, and improvements in the means of population control, such as border guards and immigration control, vastly extended the reach and the means of imperial rule. As a result, it became more harsh and cruel, as was the case with the British, French, Spanish, and Portuguese colonial empires during the 19th century. But such types of harsh imperial rule did not endure either. Confederacies have outlasted them by far. Of course, most of the former colonies, nearly all in the developing countries, are today independent. By the reach and means bequeathed by colonialism, are firmly in the hands of despots who use them to terrorize their citizens. The oppressed fall back on their century-old defense mechanisms, uprisings, or the defeat, and become refugees, illegal aliens, or boat people. Chapter 3. Brother Pigeon, are you there?
I think that's it.
Brother Pigeon is gone.
Is he?
Hegel
I
Mwash.
think we've lost him.
General, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Give thanks. I hope everyone is well as well.
Brother Barry.
Yes, my lord.
I suppose those who understand the topic can lead the discussion.
I suggest, can we start this class all over next Saturday again?
Nobody can lead.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
because even me,
it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock.
I'm also confused. I don't know what to do.
Mm.
I thought you were reading, sister. What happened?
No, I read the first confederacies, and then somebody else read the empires.
Yeah, I think now we were supposed to share our thinking, I suggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on what you read, you guys read.
I'm not familiar
General
with the
Anunnaki, can you take over as the chair?
Yeah, yeah, as I'm saying, my elder, since you both already read the text, I think we should share our thinking.
I was just reading like a parrot.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to share, at least?
Aye.
Hmm.
Okay, let me share from what I got so far here. I think from what we are seeing here is that the colonialists have used these different social states to their advantage. Because personally, I don't think empires, first of all, are tyrannical. I don't
General
think that.
Anunnaki.
Yes.
That's why I suggested maybe we abort this class until next Saturday, because I don't even think there is recording being done.
So the recording is
No,
being
it is
done.
recording. The recording is going on.
Is it
The
recording?
recording
Who's
is on.
recording?
Pigeon was recording.
Is it?
Yeah.
Didn't he go with the recording?
Oh,
Brother Hegel Mwash.
Yeah, maybe we should come back.
okay, yeah.
Brother
It's
Hegel
now
Mwash,
8
you are the...
o'clock.
Oh, I see it now. The recording is off now.
Is it?
Yeah, it left with speaking.
Yes, it's not there. And Brother Hegel Mwash is the co-host. Brother Hegel.
Yeah, I think we should just start again next week.
Hey, where is the people? What happened? Are we being hacked?
I think brother Pigeon has, and I pressed something on his what's it, and I got thrown out as well. I had to come back again. So
Hey, something is wrong.
yeah, so maybe for the next lesson he should organize for somebody to have the book share and share.
Yeah, I think we must have more than 1 liter. But you were
Mm.
doing nice. You were doing nice. You read well. I don't know.
Yeah, at least we've read the book, so we can just start with the conversation when we come back next week.
Okay.
Think so.
Okay.
Hopefully we
Okay.
can have this copy downloaded. I'm not sure if I've downloaded it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Elder Venduk, what do you say?
Yeah, no. Mission aborted.
Mission aborted.
Yeah.
We can start the discussion when recording us back on, when there's a host. There's not even a host. Brother Hegel seems like to be a co-host, but he's just quiet.
Yeah, he's not
I
responding.
tried to ask him to unmute.
I think he's out.
Brother Barry, what do you think?
I think also Barry is out.
I hope we are all safe and we've not been hacked as well.
Hey, I feel
Yeah.
like we've been hacked. This thing, just people they lose network out of nowhere.
Yeah. I hope our machines are safe.
That means we're
Hope
going in
so.
the right direction. It's good news on the other side. That means we are going on the right direction.
Yeah.
Otherwise the institutes wouldn't hack us if we were speaking facts.
Yeah, ne?
Yeah. Okay, we can call it a night again. It's fine.
Yeah,
Who's
good night,
gonna
everyone. Good night,
good night,
everyone.
everyone?
Good night.
Who's
Bye.
gonna stop the
I think once we are all out, it will switch off at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night.
Night.
Oh, it's still recording from my side.